How you doing? So I was talking to a friend of mine about becoming wealthy. Now, we're talking about wealth as far as money. And then as we began to have our conversation, he blurted out all of a sudden that, those rich people, they all became wealthy because they either lied or they stole or they cheated somebody, or they're running over and taking advantage of people. They have child laborers that they're breaking, child labor laws they're breaking in other countries, and they're doing all these things. Or the worst part is that they were born rich and they had an upper hand. They had an opportunity that most people will never have because their parents were rich. And I thought about that for a second. I told him, I said, well, let's do something. So we went online and we looked up the Forbes list of the top 400 richest people in America, and then we looked at the all the new millionaires, over a list of the new millionaires over the last 10 years, and there was one thing that we noticed that was different from what he was saying, and that's the fact that most of these people, 75%, became wealthy, became rich, and they started with nothing. They became wealthy or they became rich because they started with nothing more than an idea. And they started with nothing more than a desire and a want to become rich. That they didn't have a leg up, that they didn't have a parent who gave them $200 million, that they weren't born into the Ford family or the Rothschilds or any of those families, that they started out either poor or middle class. And yes, some started upper middle class. But most of them did not start wealthy. So I asked my friend, I said, okay, so now that we know this, now that we see that the way that these people became rich wasn't because they had some type of extra advantage, but that they became rich because they took an opportunity to do something that transformed their life. What do you do now? Do you stay in the same position? Do you stay the same person? Do you continue to allow your thoughts and your ideas that other people have something that is greater than you? That those people have a greater advantage? That they are out there doing something that is impossible for you to accomplish? It will be the same that if you have a person, they go to the gym, and when they look inside the gym, they see all the people who are already in great shape. And if they went up there and they would think automatically, well, those people down there, they're in great shape because they started out that way. They have great genes, that they've always been skinny. They've always had muscle. They've always ate well. But the truth of it is that most of those people had to develop a mindset that they were going to be healthy, that they were going to lose the weight, that they were going to build the muscle, that they were going to be fit. And then they went and they did the work to accomplish that task. So when you look inside the gym, when you're looking and you're seeing other people who are already at a place that you want to be, do not think for a moment that those people started in that position, because the majority of those people didn't start there. The majority of them had to work their way to that position. And here's the biggest thing. All of them, whether your goal is to become fit, whether your goal is to become wealthy, they all had obstacles that they had to overcome. At some point, something will get in the way. At some point, something will try to stop you. We was talking, and me and my friend said, well, sometimes it's just not my season. Sometimes it's not the season for me to go get in shape. Sometimes it's not the season for me to go start a business. Sometimes it's not the season for me to be in this relationship. Well, I thought about the fact that, seasons do come. Yes, they do. There is a springtime, and springtime is usually when people talk about planting, and that's the next season that we're coming into, is a season for planting. But when a farmer goes out and the farmer scatters his seed, just as the wisdom says that sometimes the birds will come and pluck up the seeds. Sometimes the sun will scorch the seed. And sometimes the seed will grow up amongst thorns and thistles. But here's some other things. Sometimes you plant a seed and torrential rains will come and try to destroy your seed. In the summertime, sometimes you may not get enough rain, and the scorching sun will try to dry out your seed and dry out the small plants that has started to grow. Sometimes as you plant your seed, a late winter frost will come in and it will try to kill your seed. It's not about the season. It's about the fact that, are you willing to go out there and plant? It doesn't matter what season it is. It's, are you willing to go out there and plant? And when adversities come, when the rains come, will you go out and protect your seed? When the scorching sun comes, will you go out and water your seed? When the thorns and thistles come, will you go out and pull them out by the root? The question is, are you going to be a victim of your seasons, a victim of the weather, a victim of every circumstance around you? Or are you going to be the creator of your life and take charge of all the circumstances that happen to adjust to everything that happens? There is the law of cause and effect. For whatever effect there is, there was a cause, and for whatever cause there is an effect thereafter. So if there is a cause of torrential rains, if you go out there and irrigate so that the rains flow off your seed, so that it doesn't become drowned, so it doesn't drown your seed, then you have averted what the natural effect would be for that cause, and you have created a new effect. If the sun is scorching down and there is no rain, do you go out and water that seed anyway? So when you're in that relationship and that relationship is burning under the hot sun, are you going to let it wither and die? Or are you going to go out and water the seed? Are you going to stand by and say, oh my God, it's just raining so hard, and I know that I have this water right here, and I have this water, and I can pick up the water and I can go out there, but I might spill some of the water after I pick it up, or the water might be heavy in this bucket, but I see it, I see it scorching out there. I see that. But your solution is right here. But you have every reason for why your solution can't get to where it needs to be. So ask yourself, in every aspect of your life, is the seed you planted worth you going out there and fighting for it? Now, if the seed is not, if you decided you do not want to be a farmer, if you decide that that crop is not something that you want to harvest, then let it die and go and plant other seeds. But if you decide that you want to harvest that seed, if you decide that plant that you planted, that nurturing that you want, that you got all revved up in here, that you want to pour into it, if you decide that that is what you desire and that is what you want, then you be the cause so that you get the effect that you desire, regardless of the season, regardless of other causes. Because at the end of the day, you are the creator of your life to get the results that you desire.